Hi everybody, to write your name in the chat. Hurry up guys, everybody have to write your name in the chat. Hi dear Edison, how are you Edison? Thank you so much for your joining, making the like and subscribing to the channel guys. Edison, hurry, how are you dear Edison? How are you Edison? Thank you so much for your joining. Alana, how are you dear Alana? Thank you so much for your joining. How are you guys? Amy, how are you dear Amy? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Amy. Bonnie, how are you dear Bonnie? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Bonnie. Please guys, to write your name in the chat. Blacky, how are you dear Blacky? Henry, how are you dear Henry? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Henry. Where are you from watching dear Henry? Colleen, how are you dear Colleen? No, how are you dear No? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Mono. Hello there. Hi, hello Henry. Please everybody to write your name in the chat. If any person can send the laughing disco or do the super chat for my support, to do a super chat guys. Kara, how are you dear respected Kara? Lenny, hi dear Lenny, how are you Lenny? Yeah guys, to do the super chat, send the laughing disco. Thank you so much for your joining. Can you tell your friends? Can I tell you? Can tell my dear Cat. How are you, Cat? Thank you so much for your joining. Respected Cat. How are you, Cat? You can tell. Daisy, how are you, dear Daisy? Thank you so much for your joining. Respected Daisy. Please, guys, you should write your own name. You should write your friend name. You can send the laughing disco. You can do the super chat. Mimi, hi Mimi, how are you dear Mimi? Thank you so much for your joining, pretty Mimi. Yeah, you should have to do the super chat, write your name. Mia, how are you dear Mia? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Mia. Can you also do my sister name, Faline? Hi pretty Faline, how are you Faline? Falan, how are you dear Falan? Thank you so much for your joining, pretty fun Falan, thank you. Dammy, how are you dear Dammy? Thank you so much for your joining. Please everybody, you should have to write your name, and if you anyone can, you should have to do the super chat or send the laughing disco, yeah guys. Aiden, how are you dear Aiden? Thank you so much for your joining. Alana, how are you dear Alana? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Alana. Alice, how are you Alice? Thank you so much for your joining. Hurry up guys. Gia, how are you Gia? Thank you so much for your joining, pretty Gia. Please guys to write your name in the chat. Halle, how are you dear Halle? Every respected member to write your name in the chat guys. Thank you so much for your joining. Havin, how are you dear Havin? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Havin. Hope, how are you dear Hope? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Hope. Thank you Hope. Annie, how are you dear and I, how are you and I? Thank you so much for your joining, dear and I. Rafe, how are you dear Rafe? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Rafe. A lot of love and respect for your joining. Itzal, how are you Itzal? Thank you so much for your joining, Itzal. How are you Itzal? JD, how are you, dear JD? Thank you so much for your joining, dear JD. And yeah, guys. Halle, how are you, dear Halle? How are you, Halle? Thank you so much for your joining. Hurry up, every respected member, to write your name in the chat. Imogen, how are you, Imogen? Thank you so much for your joining. Please, guys, you should have to write your name in the chat. Asbel, how are you, Asbel? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Asbel. Vesper, how are you, Vesper? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Vesper. Thank you, Vesper. Joel, how are you, Joel? Any person can write your name in the chat, guys, to do the super chat. Thank you, dear. Thank you so much. Thank you for appreciating. Thank you. Jonah, hi, dear Jonah. Thank you so much for your joining, dear Jonah. Nal, how are you, dear Nal? A lot of love and respect for your joining. Joy, how are you, Joy? Thank you so much for your joining. Waris, how are you, Waris? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Waris. Thank you, Waris. Kale, how are you, dear Kale? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Kale. Thanks for waiting my names. Thank you for writing my. Welcome, my dear. Kara, how are you, Kara? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Kara. Everybody, you should write your name in the chat. And also Lana, how are you, Lana? And also you can send the laughing disco for my support, guys. Lana, how are you, Lana? Leura, how are you, dear Leura? Thank you so much for your joining. Hurry up, guys. Lexi, how are you, pretty Lexi? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Lexi. Alright, guys. Mabel, how are you, dear Mabel? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Mabel. And lots of love and respect for your joining. Thank you, guys. Messi, how are you, dear Messi? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Messi. How are you, Messi? Thank you. Mala, how are you, dear Mala? And lots of love and respect for your joining. Lole, how are you, Lole? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Lole. Alisa, hi, dear Alisa. Thank you so much for your joining, pretty Alisa. Thank you so much for your joining. Leona, how are you, dear Leona? Thank you so much for your joining. Maria, how are you, Maria? Thank you so much for your joining, pretty Maria. Yeah, guys, Marina, how are you, dear Marina? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Marina. Thank you, Marina. Hurry up, guys. Nia, how are you, dear Nia? Thank you so much for your joining. Maya, how are you, Maya? Thank you so much for your joining. Harry, how are you, dear Harry? Thank you so much for your joining. Neta, how are you, dear Neta? How are you, Neta? Thank you so much for your joining. Noah, how are you, Noah? Any person can send the laughing disco, guys, or do the super chat. Olive, how are you, Olive? Thank you so much for your joining. Nora, how are you, Nora? Thank you so much for your joining. Mia, hi Mia, how are you, dear Mia? Thank you so much for your joining. Sharon, how are you, dear Sharon? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Sharon. Please, guys, increase the likes, guys. Everybody, you should have to write your name in the chat. Risa, hi, dear Risa. Thank you so much for your joining, respected Risa. Payori, how are you, Payori? Thank you so much for your joining. Jawana, how are you, Jawana? Thank you so much for your joining, Jawana. Any person can send the laughing and Jawanma. Jawanma. Thank you so much for your joining, my dear. Jareem, hi Jareem, how are you, Jareem? Thank you so much for your joining. Uh, What do you mean there, Abby? How are you, dear Abby? Thank you so much for your joining. Said Jiwana. Okay, dear. Jiwana, hi Jiwana. Thank you so much for your joining, respected Jiwana. Sophia, how are you, dear Sophia? Thank you so much for your joining, pretty Sophia. Nia, how are you, dear Nia? Thank you so much for your joining. How are you, Nia? Downy, how are you, Downy? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Downy. Mia, how are you, dear Mia? Thank you so much for your joining. Thank you, welcome. Hannah, how are you, dear Hannah? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Hannah. Sana, how are you, Sana? Thank you so much for your joining. Olivia, how are you, dear Olivia? Thank you so much for your joining, Olivia. Paris, how are you, dear Paris? Thank you so much for your joining. Pirel, how are you, Pirel? Thank you so much for your joining. Poppy, how are you, dear Poppy? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Poppy. Sayaf, how are you, Sayaf? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Sayaf. Please, guys, Sakar, how are you, Sakar? Thank you so much for your joining. Jack, how are you, dear Jack? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Jack. Zoya, how are you, Zoya? Thank you so much for your joining. Arman, how are you, Arman? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Arman. Nala, how are you, dear Nala? Thank you so much for your joining. Fazan, how are you, Fazan? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Fazan. Thank you so much for your joining, dear Fazan. DJ Lin, hi DJ and DJ Lan, how are you, DJ Lan? Thank you so much for your joining, dear DJ Lan. Nala, how are you, Nala? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Nala. A lot of love and respect for your joining. Queen, how are you, Queen? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Queen. How are you, Queen? Thank you so much for your joining. And my account name use USCG. Okay, there USCJ CJRL. Okay, there. Hannah, I write this name there. Javana, I write this name there. Javana, I write your name there. Thank you, Ayan. How are you, dear Ayan? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Ayan. How are you, Ayan? Any person can do the super chat, guys, or send the laughing disco. Kara, how are you, respected Kara? And lots of love and respect for your joining. Regiro, how are you, Regiro? Rogirio, how are you, Rogirio? Thank you so much for your joining. Olivia, hi Olivia, how are you, dear Olivia? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Olivia. Aaron, how are you, dear Aaron? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Aaron. And lots of love and respect for your joining. Braden, how are you, dear Braden? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Braden. A lot of love and respect for your joining. Alicia, hi Ali, hi pretty Alicia. How are you, Alicia? Any person can do the super chat, guys, or send a laughing disco. Here is gift. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your gift, my lovely brother. Thank you. Can you send a one finger heart? Can you send only a one finger heart, my dear? Only a one finger heart. Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you. BDG. BDG, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you, my lovely brother. Thank you so much. Wallah, a lots of love, a lots of love, my dear. Thank you so much. God bless you, healthy life. If you wanna can sing finger hearts, you should send only one finger hearts. Yeah, only one finger hearts, my dear. Frank, how are you, dear Frank? Thank you so much for your joining. Thank you so much, my dear. God bless you, healthy life. Thank you so much. Noah, how are you, dear Noah? Thank you so much for your joining. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Do you want more gift? Yeah, I have one finger hearts, a trophy. Can you do a trophy for making me happy? Yeah, thank you so much. You know, from the month from 15 days, my connection was very bad. That's why I did not have to get any support. And that's why I did not have to get any support. So I wanna once my loss has been recovered. Yeah, I once my loss has been recovered. Thank you so much. God bless you. Wallah, I never forget your support. Thank you. Thank you so much, Faika. Hi, Faika. Thank you so much, my dear. Goro, thank you so much. Thank you so much. God bless you, my lovely brother. Thank you so much. God bless you, Jose. How are you, Jose? God bless you. Many more successful in your life. Thank you so much, Willow. How are you, Willow? Thank you so much for your joining, Willow. And that is it. I got no more your thing. And God bless you, my lovely brother. Honor. Yeah, if you wanna try a trophy, you should. Yeah, you should to play it. If you wanna can easily, my dear. Honor, I write your name, my pretty. Paris, hi Paris. How are you, Paris? Thank you so much for your joining. Poppy, how are you, Poppy? Thank you so much for your joining, pretty Poppy. Reagan, how are you, dear Reagan? Thank you so much for your joining. Reagan, thank you so much. Thank you, BDG. Thank you, my brother. Arriving, hi Ravin. How are you, dear Ravin? Evelyn, hi Evelyn. How are you, dear Evelyn? Alvani, hi Alvani. Thank you so much for your joining, Alvanis. Rovella, how are you, dear Rovella? How are you, Rovella? A lot of love and respect for your joining, dear Rovella. Daddy, how are you, Daddy? Thank you so much for your joining, Daddy. Emily, how are you, dear Emily? How are you, Emily? Thank you so much for your joining, pretty Emily. Thank you. Layusa, how are you, dear Layusa? Thank you so much for your joining. Riza, how are you, dear Riza? A lot of love and respect for your joining. Ruba, how are you, dear Ruba? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Ruba. Riza, I write your name, my dear. Raya, how are you, dear Raya? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Raya. Rowan, how are you, dear Rowan? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Rowan. Mayusa, how are you, dear Mayusa? Thank you so much for your joining, Mayusa. Alright, guys. Thank you. Welcome, Salor. Hi, Salor. Thank you so much for your joining, respected Salor. Yeah, guys, to do the super chat and send the laughing disco. Scarlett, how are you, dear Scarlett? Thank you so much for your joining. And Nally, how are you, dear Nally? How are you, pretty Nally? Thank you so much for your joining. Orion, how are you, dear Orion? How are you, guys? How are you, guys? Prince, how are you, Prince? Pranish, how are you, Pranish? Dana, how are you, dear Dana? How are you, Dana? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Dana. Neely, I write your name, my dear. Horia, how are you, Horia? Thank you so much for your joining. Dana, I write your name. Fihaj, how are you, Fihaj? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Fihaj. And Neely, how are you, Neely? And lots of love and respect for your joining, dear Neely. Amber, how are you, dear Amber? Thank you so much for your joining. Risa, how are you, dear Risa? Thank you so much for your joining. Hurry up, guys, making the like and subscribing to the channel. Larry, how are you, dear Larry? Thank you so much for your joining. Alright, guys, Barojo, how are you, Barojo? Thank you so much for your joining, Barojo. Sky, how are you, Sky? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Sky. Solan, how are you, Solan? Thank you so much for your joining. Sophia, how are you, dear Sophia? Thank you so much for your joining, pretty Sophia. Any person can send the laughing disco, guys. Talia, how are you, dear Talia? Thank you so much for your joining. Taylor, how are you, respected Taylor? Any person can play the gift for my support, guys. If any person can easily and Tiffany, how are you, Tiffany? Sorry, yeah, Willow, how are you, dear Willow? A lot of love and respect for you joining, Willow. Valeria, how are you, Valeria? How are you, dear Valeria? Thank you so much for your joining. Winter, how are you, Winter? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Winter. Vala, how are you, Vala? A lot of love and respect for your joining. Zara, how are you, pretty Zara? Thank you so much for your joining, pretty Zara. Nafi, how are you, dear Nafi? Any person if can easily play the gift, guys, you should have to send the gift for my support, guys. Jolia, how are you, dear Jolia? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Julia. And Layusa, how are you, Layusa? Thank you so much for your joining. Eric, how are you, dear Eric? Thank you so much for your joining. Yeah, guys, if any person can easily play the gift, you should have to send. Layusi, how are you, dear Layusi? Thank you so much for your joining. I have one laughing disco. Do you have specialty cause I have subscribed? Nala, hi Nala. Thank you, Nala. Thank you for subscribing, my dear. Thank you. Gavon, hi Gavon. How are you, Gavon? Any person can easily can support, guys. You should do the donation. Thank you. Harry, to make the donation like super chat, gifting, Payori, how are you, Payori? Thank you so much for your joining. Can you shout out to me? Why not there? Shout out to Nalar, guys. Everybody have to subscribe to Nalar. Nalar is a very cute and a kind lady. Okay, and that's enough, Nalar. Thanks. Welcome, Fak. How are you, Fak? Any person can do the super chat, guys, or send the laughing disco for the support. I always try to give to shout out to the every person. Yara, how are you, dear Yara? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Yara. Zala, how are you, dear Zala? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Zala. Yeah, guys. Joanna, how are you, Joanna? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Joanna. Lots of love and respect for your joining. Bomi, how are you, dear Bomi? Thank you so much for your joining. Alex, how are you? Respected Alex, how are you, Alex? Olivia, how are you, dear Olivia? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Olivia. Shout out to all of you all. Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Nellor. Nellor, if you wanna kind do the super chat, you should do the super chat for my support. Sophia, how are you, dear Sophia? Thank you so much for your joining. Ava, how are you, dear Ava? Thank you so much for your joining. Thank you so much for joining my stream, dear Ava. Rose, how are you, dear Rose? Lots of love and respect for your joining, dear Rose. And yeah, guys, Joy, how are you, Joy? Thank you so much for your joining. Mia, how are you, Mia? Thank you so much for your joining. Scarlett, how are you, Scarlett? Thank you so much for your joining. Shout out to our friend. Yeah, shout out to our friend. Thank you so much, guys. Everybody, to write your name in the chat. Hurry up, guys. Harry, how are you, dear Harry? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Harry. Yeah, Harper, how are you, dear Harper? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Harper. Avery, how are you, Avery? Thank you so much for your joining. Uh, uh, Acme, how are you, Acme? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Acme. Uh, uh, Holia, how are you, Holia? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Holia. Please, any person can send the laughing disco, guys, or do the super chat. Mila, how are you, Mila? Leona, how are you, Leona? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Leona. Riley, how are you, Riley? A lot of love and respect for your joining. My whole family is beside, and can you shout out to the yeah, why not? Shout out to Elizabeth, to Gabriela, to Jacob and Eric. Yorisel, hi Yorisel, how are you, Yorisel? Your thank you so much for your joining. Zara, how are you, dear Zara? Thank you so much for your joining. Nora, how are you, Nora? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Nora. Lala, how are you, dear Lala? And lots of love and respect for your joining. Hazel, how are you, Hazel? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Hazel. Stella, how are you, Stella? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Stella. I give you a hand right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my dear. You wanna kind of support? If you wanna kind of support, you should do it, my dear. As much as you can. Yeah, you have to do it. Payo, how are you, Payo? Thank you so much for your joining, Payo. Willow, how are you, dear Willow? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Willow. Violet, how are you, dear Violet? Thank you so much for your joining. Ali, how are you, dear Ali? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Ali. Anayat, hi, dear Anayat. Thank you so much for your joining, Anayat. Thank you so much for your joining. Aria, how are you, dear Aria? Every respected member to write your name in the chat. Levi, how are you, dear Levi? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Levi. Johan, how are you, Johan? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Johan. Daisy, how are you, dear Daisy? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Daisy. Lots of love and respect for your joining, dear Daisy. Layosi, how are you, dear Layosi? Thank you so much for your joining. Ava, how are you, dear Ava? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Ava. I will try to sub. Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have feel too happy. Anyone can subscribe. Anyone can make the donation. Your small support has a myself. I did not have to ask. I have also to say every viewers. You should send a laughing disco. You should have. Send the laughing disco. You should have sent the finger hearts. You should have to send the trophy. Miku, hi Miku. Yeah, these are very small gifts. These are very small gift. I have write the with the red pen because he wanna donate on my screen. Henrik, hi Henrik, how are you, Henrik? He was donate. If someone has to donate on my screen, I will be write the name of the person with the red pen. Yeah, Leah, how are you, dear Leah? Thank you so much for your joining, Leah. Cora, how are you, Cora? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Cora. And Naomi, how are you, Naomi? Thank you so much for your joining. Alize, how are you, Alize? Any person can send the laughing disco, guys. Varine, how are you, dear Varine? Thank you so much for your joining. Bala, how are you, Bala? Thank you so much for your joining. Guess what state I'm in? I did not know where are you from. Where are you from? Miraj, I cannot guess. Miraj, how are you, dear Miraj? Thank you so much for your joining. Alice, how are you, Alice? Thank you so much for your joining. Nina, how are you, dear Nina? Thank you so much for your joining. Tessa, how are you, Tessa? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Tessa. Amber, how are you, Amber? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Amber. Rosie, how are you, Rosie? Geo, how are you, Geo? Thank you so much for your joining. Veer, how are you, Veer? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Veer. Thank you. Welcome there. Hurry up, guys, to write your name. I'm cleaning the board, guys. I'm cleaning the board. You should to write your name. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Everybody have to write. Yeah, everybody hurry up to write your name, guys. Hurry up, guys. Every single person to write your name in the chat, guys. Thank you. Hurry up, guys, to write your name. Ibrahim. Hi, Ibrahim. How are you, dear Ibrahim? Thank you, Ibrahim. How are you, Ibrahim? Daddy, how are you, Daddy? Thank you so much for your joining, every respected member. Emily, how are you, Emily? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Emily. Mia, how are you, dear Mia? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Mia. Thank you so much for your joining, respected Mia. Viosal, how are you? Vayosal, how are you, dear Vayosal? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Vayosal. Allah bless you. God bless you, my dear. Thank you. Hurry up, guys. Aaron, how are you, dear Aaron? A lot of love and respect for your joining. Um, Shout out to other size family, Daisy, Flower, Tara, that's girls are singles. Yeah, shout out to these are all. Leosa, how are you, dear Leosa? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Leosa. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. Lexi, how are you, dear Lexi? Thank you so much for your joining. Rahul, how are you, dear Rahul? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Rahul. Hurry up, guys. Mabel, how are you, dear Mabel? How are you, Mabel? Thank you so much for your joining. Every respected member have to write your name in the chat, guys. Paris, how are you, Paris? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Paris. Thank you, Paris. Daisy, how are you, dear Daisy? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Daisy. How are you, dear Daisy? Every respected member to write your name in the chat. Talia, how are you, dear Talia? Thank you so much for your joining. Miku, how are you, Miku? How are you, dear Miku? Thank you, Miku, for your joining. Sanjay, how are you, dear Sanjay? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Sanjay. Please, everybody, have to write your name in the chat, guys. Making the like and subscribing to the channel. Joy, how are you, Joy? Thank you so much for your joining. Layusi, how are you, dear Layusi? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Layusi. Please, guys, everybody, have to write your name in the chat. Nina, how are you, dear Nina? Thank you so much for your joining. Sir Miko already has been listed in spreads. You can see it. No worry, yeah. Some people have to try more. And no worry. That's a Reza. Yeah. How are you, dear Reza? Thank you so much for your joining, Reza. Nala, where are you from? Watching pretty. Valerie, hi Valerie. Hurry up, guys, to write your name in the chat. And Darisi, how are you, Darisi? Thank you so much for your joining. And Sole, how are you, Sole? How are you, Sole? Sole, how are you? Any person can send the laughing disco, guys. Send the laughing disco or do the super chat. Yeah. Brentley, hi Brentley, thank you so much for your joining, dear Brentley. Solid, I write your name, dear Payo. How are you, Payo? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Payo. One last thing I had before I want to go back in different state. I have to your best lasting can ever your yeah, okay, thank you so much, my dear. Thank you. Lavi, how are you, dear Lavi? Thank you, Lavi. How are you, Lavi? Falterishi. Thank you so much for your joining, Falterishi. Thank you for your joining, my dear. Ava, how are you, Ava? How are you, dear Ava? Bye. Juk. Jagoda, hi Jagoda. Thank you so much for your joining, Jagoda. Stray Kids. Stray Kids, thank you so much for your joining. Willow, how are you, dear Willow? How are you, Willow? Please, everybody, have to write your name in the chat, guys. Hi, Alex. How are you, dear Alex? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Alex. Thank you, Alex. Talia, how are you, Talia? Thank you so much, Talia. Lana, hi Lana, how are you, Lana? Thank you so much for your joining. Amar, hi Amar, how are you, dear Amar? How are you, Amar? Thank you so much for your joining. Neha, Nehar, Neharika, hi Neharika, how are you, Neharika? Thank you so much for your joining. Aiden, how are you, dear Aiden? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Aiden. How are you, Aiden? Selena, hi Selena. Hayden, how are you, dear Hayden? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Hayden. Please, everybody, have to write your name in the chat, making the like and subscribing to the channel. Khan, how are you, Khan? Thank you so much for your joining. Rehan, how are you, Rehan? Larry, anyone can complete the 30 likes, guys. Only 6 likes are left, guys. Nika, how are you, Nika? Just complete the 30 likes, guys. Nika, how are you, dear Nika? Just you should have to complete 30 likes, guys. Thank you. Ravin, how are you, Ravin? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Ravin. Hurry up, guys, making the like and subscribing to the channel. I have a lot of love and respect for your joining. Lara, how are you, Lara? How are you, Lara? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Lara. Mia, how are you, dear Mia? Please, everybody, have to write your name in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for your joining. Guys, please try to help me complete the 30 likes, guys. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Fun. Abby, how are you, Abby? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Abby. Nala, how are you, dear Nala? Thank you so much for your joining, respected Nala. Yeah, guys. Alexa, how are you, Alexa? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Alexa. Alicia, Alicia. Henrik, how are you, dear Henrik? How are you, dear Henrik? Thank you so much for your joining, dear Henrik. Foxy, how are you, dear Foxy? Thank you, dear, for your joining, dear Foxy. How are you, Foxy? Any person can do the super chat, guys, or send the laughing disco, guys. Laughing disco or finger hearts, yeah. Laughing disco or finger hearts. Thank you. Taylor, how are you, Taylor? Yeah, there. Bolsonaro. Arush. Hi Arush. Thank you so much for your joining. Respected Arush. How are you dear Arush? Reagan. Hi Reagan. Okay guys, I wanna going off right now. So the weather is not well. Let me go to say the prayer. I will be see you later. Okay. Max. Hi Max. How are you Max? Mix. Ari. Hi Ari. Thank you so much for your joining, dear Ari. Any person can send the laughing disco, guys. Any person can send the laughing disco or super chat, guys. Yeah, laughing disco or a super chat. Only one thing you should have to do, guys, if you wanna can easily laughing disco or do the super chat. Any person can do it, guys. I have one only only one laughing disco, guys. Vibed, how vibed. Any person who is going to sending the laughing disco, guys. Hi vibed, how are you vibed? Bakura, hi Bakura. Any persons can send the laughing disco. Who is going to sending the laughing disco, guys? 6-7. Yeah, you can also send the 6-7. You can send the 6-7, my dear. Yeah, 6-7 is also enough for me. Anyone can going to sending the last gift, guys. Anyone is going to sending the last gift. Okay guys, let me go off right now. I will be back. Okay guys, take care of yourself. If you wanna can send, you can send me the last gift, guys. Then I will be go. If you wanna can, if you have, if you should. Let's go guys. Thank you.